Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the big screens.
While we may all have an understanding of the idea that humility comes before honor, some among us are actually able to live out this idea in their daily lives. Humility is what paved the way for the consummate professional, industry-changing, and successful 46-year career of our 2014 SPE Automotive Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Norm Kakarala. And if humility is a virtue, then Norm has it in spades.
We all know that Norm is a self-made man. In fact, he told me one time he arrived in the U.S. with everything he owned in a suitcase at age 19. That got me to thinking about the John Bright quote, that the self-made man often worships his creator. Norm's the exact opposite of that. He's the humble guy who supports everybody that works around him. Although he has done great works in his time and his career, if you really look around at the awards that show up, Norm's always at the back of the photograph. Norm's always the guy who pulls the team together and then steps away as the awards are presented.
Norm had a notable career spanning over 5 decades in automotive plastics and composites at companies like GM, Delphi, Intiva, and Uniroyal Tire Company, with much of his innovative work becoming industry standards.
Norm has been a pioneer of new automotive plastics developments his whole career. I worked with Norm on many of GM's composite vehicles, the Camaro, the Fiero, the Corvette, and Lumina van. Later, when Norm was grabbed by Delphi, he was given another tough development project, the TPO powder and slush material and process for more durable instrument panels and improved haptics and appearance. He succeeded again, and we were able to put it into production on the 2006 Saab SUV instrument panel. This set a benchmark for instrument panel materials, which led to development of many other competing materials and processes.
There are a lot of things that you hope to do and impact in your technical career. And when you can do it in ways where you set the standard, you're on the cutting edge of technology, and you earn the respect of your peers technically. You develop and nurture new up-and-coming materials engineers. And in doing all of that, you help impact the company's bottom line.
Norm's expertise allowed him 2 technical fellowships, one during his time at Delphi, and later from where he retired last year at Intiva.
Technical fellow is the highest level from a technical standpoint that you can achieve within our company. Some of the traits that Norm brings to that is he's fair, he's unassuming, he's very respectful, he's thoughtful, and I use Norm as a sounding board, and he brings very sage counsel. Whenever I have questions on any matters, be it professional or personal, I go to Norm because I view him as a friend.
Norm has had numerous significant career accomplishments, bestowing upon him many awards and honors and inductions. Not to mention, he holds 8 U.S. patents for different TPO material formulations for vehicle interior skins and molded parts. Norm was also one of the founders of both the TPO and EPCON conferences, 2 continuously growing and game-changing events for the industry as a whole, setting a benchmark for SPE.
2 of the very successful conferences that we have had over the years, one is the TPO conference, and we started this some 16 years ago, not knowing whether it's going to be success or not, and we start from ground zero, and we were very successful in doing that, and that has become a benchmark for the SPE.
When he was president of the SPE Automotive Division, he brought the idea forward and launched Automotive Engineering Plastics Conference, which we call Auto EPCON. He kidnapped me as part of that early step so that the 2 of us have continued to work together in industry, building what we feel are very effective and professional conferences.
Those who have worked with Norm over the years all agree that he was a master of all, the go-to guy who not only knew his stuff, but would take the time to make sure you knew it too.
Norm really knew his stuff when it came to putting things together, whether it be materials characterization or adhesives. He could get things to work and understand and explain why they worked.
Norm knows a lot about everything. He's willing to share that information and not think anything about you asking a question, not saying any question is stupid. He's willing to take the time, both personally and professionally, to make sure you get it.
The body of work that Norm has completed throughout his career has left a legacy that has truly impacted the automotive industry.
Norm was the go-to person, the go-to technical expert in the area of materials, and so in that respect, every day we're out selling this, every day it's being used in a vehicle somewhere. For me anyways, Norm comes to mind because he was very much key to the development of much of the technology that we have today and that we are very successful with today in the marketplace.
As dedicated as he was to his career, Norm was just as much a family man. And as the saying goes, behind every great man is a great woman.
Unfortunately, Norm's lovely wife, Sheeta, recently passed away. Sheeta made many years of sacrifices that enabled Norm to devote so much time and energy to both his work and SPE. Sheeta shares this honor with Norm.
With a lifetime of achievement behind him, there seemed to be nothing Norm could not do.
The only thing that I really am a little disappointed about is that I gave Norm an assignment several years ago that he wasn't able to deliver on. And that was to create really a world-class plastic from dirt. And, you know, I'm still looking for that. Norm, I know you're at least semi-retired. God bless you, and we'll keep working on it.
And Norm even left a little mystery when it came to his lunch choices. Hey, you gotta eat, right?
We used to go out a lot for lunch at Taco Bell, and Norm always, order quesadilla. I asked him, but I never got the response, so I still have to find that mystery. Norm, going forward, I invite you for lunch, every week, and we'll go to the restaurant, and I hope I will find out the mystery of the quesadilla. And still, I don't understand why you like Mexican more than Indian.
On behalf of the Automotive Division of the Society of Plastics Engineers, congratulations, Norm, on your 2014 Lifetime Achievement Award.
And coming to center stage now for the presentation of this year's Lifetime Achievement Award is Pat Stewart, Vice President and Executive Director in Teva Products.
Well, good evening. Wow, what an honor to be asked to introduce the recipient of such a prestigious award. Thank you, Norm, for asking me, and thank you, SPE, for the opportunity to be here. A Lifetime Achievement Award. This type of recognition typically focused on the technical accomplishments and contributions that one makes during their work career. You already saw the testimonials on the video, so I'm not going to go through those again. We'd be here for a couple hours, and they told me I'd get a few minutes. So what I want to share with you are some thoughts around Norm, the person. How Norm interacted with people is as important, if not more important, than his brilliance as an innovator and a scientist. And these attributes were indeed developed over a lifetime. And if I was to pick a word or an attribute that best describes Norm and his approach, it would be compromise. Norm was the fourth of 8 children, pretty large family. He was a middle child that quickly learned that the middle ground was kind of where peace and harmony best existed. I'm one of 6 kids, and I run a pretty big engineering organization, so I know firsthand that full agreement in a group of any size is indeed a rarity. Norm would put those early lessons learned to great use. As a husband and father, compromise was a pillar in the Kakarala household. Anyone who is married or raising children knows how important compromise is. Norm was married for 44 years to his wife, Sita. She was truly a confident and at times even an astute technical advisor to Norm. She recently passed away after battling a lengthy illness. And while she isn't physically here tonight, She's most assuredly looking down on Norm with pride and joy for this recognition. And I think Norm would tell you that without her, he would not have achieved what he did to merit this attention. Norm's two sons, Krishna and Kieran, are here with us tonight, coming from San Francisco and from Kansas. They're here to share in recognition, so if they could please stand just for a moment to be recognized. And I think Krishna's from San Francisco and Kieran's from Kansas City, so I think Kieran might owe Krishna a little bit on the bet for the World Series, but I don't know if they settled that yet or not. But clearly Norm's compromising skills are evident in his children. They're both their personal and professional success. Krishna is the CFO of Lumosity. That's the company that does your brain exercises. And then Kieran is the head of a neck surgeon at the University of Kansas Hospital. So if Krishna can't get your brain exercised, I guess Kieran goes ahead and fixes it for you. So, and I know Norm is extremely proud of his children, but tonight, Krishna and Kieran, it's your turn to be proud of your father. Another example of compromise is certainly in Norm's work. In addition to his technical prowess, Norm was involved in many activities that put his compromising skills to the test. Whether he is as an expert problem solver on a team, whether with customers and suppliers to develop new materials or specifications, or participating in industry organizations and committees, Norm's steady hand was always a facilitator to bring the group to consensus. So a lifetime of compromise is clearly part of what defines Norm the person. But I think to capture all what makes Norm who he is, you got to look at the other side of that coin as well, and that's uncompromising. As much as Norm applied the art of compromise so efficiently in his work, he was uncompromising in his drive to integrate plastics and olefins into the vehicle. He recognized the attributes of low mass, sound deadening, long-term durability, and recyclability as something that should not be compromised. In speaking of recyclability, Norm was at the forefront of closed-loop recycling of TPO materials. And in 1999, he led a team that received the Recycler of the Year award from SPE. In accepting the award, Norm was quoted that the award was the crowning point of his career. It was 1999. That might have been a highlight, but certainly not the crowning point. Norm continued to be uncompromising in promoting and developing the use of olefins in the automotive interior, and over the next 15 years was instrumental in bringing them from an injection moldable, cheap plastic to show surface UV stable products, structural applications, vacuum formable, slush moldable, stitchable, and ultimately wrappable grades of material. A viable material for every type of vehicle produced, entry level to luxury. You only achieve that level of success through an uncompromising belief that it can be done. So 1999 wasn't the crowning point. Many might say that tonight is. I mean, after all, it is a Lifetime Achievement Award. But Norm, I'm not so sure that's true either. Your ongoing influence will be your legacy. From the materials and products you brought to the industry, to the environment you helped to protect and sustain, and most importantly, to the people you've interacted with, taught, trained, and developed, and I include myself in that list, the crowning moment of your career will be ongoing. Tonight, you certainly stand on a pinnacle, and again, I am honored to stand here with you, and I am honored to introduce the recipient of the 2014 Society of Plastics Engineers Lifetime Achievement Award, Dr. Norm Kakarala.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please be seated. Thanks, Pat, for your generous compliments. I'm absolutely thrilled and grateful to my SPE friends for honoring me with the Lifetime Achievement Award. Those 12 colleagues on my video are my true career boosters. I thank them for taking time to record their best reflections of me to share with you. I hope my two sons who are here will share that video with my grandchildren when they grow up. My dear wife often used to ask me why I devote so much time for SPE. Answer is pretty simple. I had passion for TPO materials development. I used SPE as a venue to market those developments to the OEM customers. I want to persuade executives who are here to encourage their staff to join SPE for a fellowship and for career and business development. I have actively promoted new applications for TPO materials by chairing or co-chairing the annual TPO conference program for the last 16 years. Intermaterial competition among automotive plastics is relentless, and the TPOs have won the race by saving weight, providing versatility, improving quality while reducing cost. I am blessed with a large extended family in town. My siblings, cousins, and friends provided me a ton of support to cope with loss of my wife. My sister Vani and brother Mahipal provided pillars of support during the tough days in the grieving process. At this banquet, we honor teams for their innovations. I thank my extended family team for being here to share the honor with me. Loyalty is a cherished value for me. I want to give a shout out to my career mentor, Ken Gassman of Intiva Products. Ken, please stand and get recognized. Thank you, Ken. I admire Ken's visionary leadership and unwavering support to his team. Of the 10 managers I worked with in my 46-year career, Ken was absolutely the best of the group. Thanks, Ken, for nurturing my career. To do good and to be good are my aspirations. Doing good shapes the job resume, but being good is essential for fostering virtues for a memorable eulogy. I will focus now to use my remaining time attending several of these, to build those eulogy virtues. Attending several of these banquets taught me to be brief, make the point quickly, and move on. Once again, thank you all for giving me this honor.